Anthony, there's a lot of definitions out there for responsible investing. How do you do it at Calvert?
Thank you, Greg. It's great to be here. And I think it's helpful to start with a definition. And so, first of all, we are a performance-oriented investor. And we have the view that we think companies that are doing a better job managing the financially material sustainability factors that they face can outperform companies that are not. And so we have a whole deep proprietary research process. We've been doing this for nearly 50 years. And what we're focused on is information that sometimes falls out the traditional financial system. So if you think about natural capital, companies use natural resources to build products. There are negative impacts from that use, both on the environment and also on societies. Human capital, companies have all kinds of impacts on people. And so we have a system that is designed to evaluate all of those sort of risks and opportunities. And the goal is to have a very holistic understanding of a company's performance.
And what is your system telling you right now? What is that research saying in terms of themes or places to make money in the market?
Yeah, that's a good question. So there are many themes. So I just talked about natural capital, the use of natural resources, energy transition. Whether folks like it or not, we are going through an energy transition. In the 1800s, we went from the horse to the coal-fired steam engine, and then to internal combustion, oil and gas, and then we invented things like nuclear. We are in the process right now of essentially decarbonizing our energy system, and there are tremendous investment opportunities around that. Human capital, supply chains. Companies manufacture products in developing countries. There are all kinds of impacts to people in the supply chains, and we're focused on understanding how companies have exposures to those issues. Data security, product management. If companies fall down around those issues, it affects the trust that consumers have with those companies.
Well, the world may seem like it's decarbonizing. However, the current administration is still drill, baby, drill. So can you talk about how you invest responsibly in this particular political environment, to put it politically correct?
Yeah. So like, why is this still relevant?
Correct.
Essentially. I'll talk about it from an investment perspective and also from a financial advisor perspective. So I do think that there are three sort of uber themes or trends out there which make this very relevant. The first is just innovation. There, in every industry, in every sector, there is innovation happening, and sustainability is a consistent theme in that innovation. So the energy transition, transportation, food systems, all of that. And then you have the second big thing is really regulation. So we're probably going to see less regulation here in the States the next couple of years, but companies that we invest in are global. And they operate in Europe, they operate in Asia. And those regulatory bodies are very focused on sustainability themes. And the last is demographics. Survey after survey shows that the younger generations have a much higher likelihood, have a higher passion for sustainability, both how they live their lives and how they invest. Advisors are working with the oldest generation of a family, patriarchs and matriarchs. Huge amount of money is flowing down through those generations in the next couple of decades. And I think it's going to be critical that an advisor has a contemporary understanding of what this is about.
Can you comment on performance and what Calvert does differently? It all goes back to that question, can you do well by doing good? Can you beat the indexes by still investing in things that matter to you, like sustainability?
So it's like, what does success look like? So first and foremost, it is performance, right? And I said that at the outset. And if you look at our strategies over the long term, generally they've been very competitive with benchmarks and peer groups. But you can also imagine, Greg, that all of this work we do results in portfolios that are actually quite different from benchmarks and peer groups. And so for almost a decade now, we have a whole set of kind of metrics and sort of reporting where we look at things like CO2 emissions, toxic emissions, how much water do companies use, how much toxic waste do they produce, and we actually provide that as reporting to clients as well. So again, it's about this sort of holistic approach to managing money for these clients.
And then finally, how do you work with financial advisors, wealth managers to help them implement a responsible investing strategy? Because as you mentioned, a lot of the kids today, that's what they want. They're going to get the money in this great wealth transfer, the $120 trillion that's going to be coming down from the boomers and the Xers, and they're going to want to invest like you're saying.
Right. So glad you asked. So the good news for a practitioner is there are hundreds of options in the industry, and even at Calvert, we have dozens. We did launch a small family of ETFs a couple of years ago, and I wanted to highlight just two of those. CVLC for investors to consider, U.S. Large Cap Core Responsible Index. So this is broad exposure to companies that meet the Calvert principles. They're successfully managing the financial and material factors that they face. And then you can complement that with an international, Calvert International, CVIE. And those two together give you basically a globally diversified portfolio of great companies. And because they're ETFs, Greg, they have the advantage of transparency, broad market exposure, relatively tax efficient, relatively cost effective.
All right. Well, thanks a lot for coming on and talking about it.
It's been a pleasure.